video is not my video. It is Jared's video, Moral Virus. I have no idea what the video is about. I have no idea what he's going to... Well, I know what it's about, but I have no idea what he says in the video. I'm just posting the video up on here because he said he went forever how long he went. And I figured, you know what? I will spread the wealth a little bit. I have, you know, pretty much unlimited cash that I can put out on my videos. And I like Jared's videos, so I figured it'd be kind of fun to put one of his videos up here along with mine. So there you go. And by no means do I agree, do I endorse, or any of that nonsense that you usually see when you see the little commentary stuff on DVDs or anything like that. Just to put that out there, it's not me saying this stuff, it's Jared saying this stuff. If you want to gripe at Jared for saying that stuff, gripe at Jared. Do not gripe at me, though I'm sure people say, well, don't put it on your video then. Blah, I don't care. Anyways, enjoy the video. You're welcome, Jared. Later. Hope you guys like it.
It's been a wild ride for me in the last 48 hours, actually. Not an ounce of sleep, not a single minute, not a single second. Just been wired up and doing all sorts of crazy, wild shit, or as crazy and wild as my life will allow. We'll start off this video, this random video, with this one tiny insignificant little message, and that is, PS Power, you are a fucking pussy. And I will continue to echo out this message from now until the end of time. Let's see how long this goes before I actually start getting under his skin a bit. Where did I want to go with this right now? Tomorrow, TNA is coming into my backyard, or whoever actually owns the state of New York's backyard, technically. They're going into the Manhattan Center, I believe, and apparently there was some big confusion over Ticketmaster, and people wanted refunds because they didn't get their tickets sent out to them. Some big mess that's now led to TNA giving out free DVDs. Actually kind of got me interested in seeing if I could sneak my way into this show. Kind of disappointed with what I've seen so far, because the Manhattan Center, as some New Yorkers will know, or note, I should say, the Manhattan Center can seat the exact same amount of people that Webster Hall seats. The only difference is it actually seats the audience, rather than have them stand around in like a mosh pit environment. So TNA has basically moved from central Manhattan, I believe, all the way to the more west side of Manhattan, and they're playing up in the very watering hole that Ring of Honor had stomped around in, waiting for the big contract WWE had on the Hammerstein Ballroom to simply expire. And I gotta applaud TNA for at least realizing that they have this venue here when it's been available to them pretty much this entire time. The problem I have, and maybe this is me being completely spoiled by Ring of Honor, the problem is the ticket pricing is fucking ridiculous. Like, I understand. Companies do these kind of shows simply to make money. The WWE, when they come to town, their tickets aren't going to be entirely cheap, but cheap enough. If I were to spend about $43 to get decent floor seats at a Madison Square Garden house show, $43 would do the trick. Not for TNA. Floor seats, well, front row is $100. Then the next, I think it's either the next row or the next few rows back, $75. Then there's a range of $50, and this is all still floor seats. And then there's the balcony, which is $35. balcony is usually the best way to go at the Manhattan Center. I don't mind balcony. I actually prefer balcony. I'm sure there are a lot of others out there in the New York area who have been to a wrestling event at the Manhattan Center, not the Hammerstein Ballroom, which is about 7 floors beneath it. Those who have been to the Manhattan Center can testify that maybe the balcony is the best seat in the entire house because you don't have to worry about missing any action on the ring side. You'll always be able to see it whether sitting or standing, as opposed to on the floor. If you're standing, you're going to have to stand on your seat or on top of someone else's head. Right, so $35 for balcony, and I don't mind. $35 compared to Ring of Honor's, I believe it was $25 the last time they did a show in the Manhattan Center for balcony. It's a price range of $10. That's not too big a deal. What is a big deal is all the charges after. I mean, this is only one ticket. $35 turns a $35 ticket suddenly turns into a $50 pass. And it's not even $50 flat. It's not even rounded up to $50. This is $51 and some change. Now, maybe if I were working right now, maybe if I had a little more in my bank account, maybe if this were 2005 and I was just coming off of my job, I could look at this and say, it's a bit pricey, but it's a once in a lifetime experience, especially considering I don't think the company will have much longer if they continue down this path where Jarrett is stroking his own ego as well as the egos of his buddies. So I look at it like, okay, maybe I would spend the money, but now I'm kind of thinking, maybe I won't. And what tempts me further away from wanting the seat is the simple fact that Ticketmaster has established that you have a set of hoops you have to jump through in order to get your tickets. Yeah, nuts to that bullshit. Maybe next time when they're in a different arena and I can actually just kind of roll up there and get the tickets at the arena itself before the date of the show. That would work for me. That would work out a lot better because at least then I wouldn't have to deal with all these surcharges and all these taxes and whatever Ticketmaster is adding on to the fucking price of the ticket at the end of all that math, which doesn't even make sense. Triple H video Josh did. I still have to get around to doing my article this week. Still kind of hazy as to where I want to go with that because not a clue as to what I'm doing. But Triple H, I noticed there were a lot of comments going on in Josh's video, and a lot of them I wanted to get around to, but couldn't because of YouTube's comment system being so fucked. You know, I type in my comment, copy paste it, hit send, and end up doing this process for 6-7 times, and it still won't send even after revisions, after making sure that it doesn't look like the computer reads it as being some sort of cryptic code for a website that YouTube does not allow, or whatever the case may be. I noticed that a lot of people were trying to either trying to defend Triple H through the actions of Steve Austin's walking out, or was it Shawn Michaels was one of the examples. I'm not sure if that was one of the comments that I wanted to type in that got garbled up by YouTube's massive, amazing fucking comment system or not. But the thing with Mike goes, I don't think I have enough time to get into that now, actually. Yeah, I don't have enough time. Since I'm looking at PS Power's comments on Josh's Gail Kim video, let me get into that real quick. And I wish I had more time to do all the editing, but fuck that. PS Power's comment is, "You are more right than people will give you credit for," as a response to King Berkey 7 hours ago. The truth is, female wrestlers are disposable from the roster, like it or not, they just are. What happened to huge stars like Sable or even China when they left? They became nothing. This video assumes a direct correlation between high knockout ratings and the need to keep the current top knockout roster. It seems to imply that because knockouts get high rated segments, you must keep the best knockout wrestler. Faulty correlation. Here's where I call bullshit on Power, and I wish more people would do it. It's that Gail Kim was the founding face of the entire division. She was the main face. The only face that could topple her as far as drawing power would then become ODB, and that only just started happening as of what, March, or maybe just entering into April. So you're looking at a division that is basically, and I mean basically, stripped down, bare none, just 3 women. And I mean this, 3 women. Awesome Kong, Gail Kim, ODB. Those are the top 3 stars. You take Gail Kim out of the equation, you are now left with one face who is over, a face champion right now that is struggling and has no heat, no credibility behind her name outside of a couple of fluke wins over Awesome Kong, which should never have happened considering the fans never wanted to see that, especially twice in a row for the title, to maintain her as the champion when people are really set on seeing Kong kill a bitch. So Chantel Taylor, not the answer to replace Gail Kim. PS Power seems to be high and mighty on Angelina Love, which I can't fathom why, considering as far as I'm concerned, Angelina Love is probably slightly better than Ashley Massaro. Yeah, I fucking said it. Slightly better in the ring, just in the ring. She has, all right, she has the moves, but that's not all you need in wrestling to be good. I think we've established this by now, because if it were just the moves and the way you could perform in the ring when doing these maneuvers, then Jack Evans would probably be the best wrestler in all the galaxy. But he's not. Why? Because as good as his selling is, he cannot tell a good story in the ring. Angelina Love, same problem. Not a very good storyteller in the ring. Granted, Gail Kim is probably not the greatest at that either, but she was over. Angelina Love, kind of touchy there. Kind of touchy, and I know I'm already going over. Yeah, I'm already over. Fuck it. I'm going to continue. Angelina Love, simply put, I know people are high on her because she's like a total package. She's got it in the ring and out of the ring. To be honest, whatever she's doing with this character outside of the ring just doesn't work for me. I don't think it really works all that well, considering, yeah, the one who happens to have all of the cool lines and happens to have the better presentation of her character in that group is Talia Madison. That would be Velvet Sky. It boggles my mind how people kind of confuse the two as far as their personalities go outside of the ring. Like Angelina Love is the better one on the mic, when it's clearly Velvet Sky who really carries over all of the persona of the beautiful people. The taglines that she comes up with, the way she just kind of uses her body language to further along the words that she again, I've been up, I'm still kind of wired, I'm kind of fading now, so bear with me, my English is kind of Talia, she's not the best in the ring. That clearly goes to Angelina, but that's really not saying a whole lot, considering Angelina is still very limited in herself. So, right, I was on. Okay, you got the two faces, one of which is still over and highly over, the other one not so much and has no prayer, I emphasize this, no prayer of ever being the true replacement to Gail Kim and what she embodied for the TNA Knockout division. And then you have Angelina Love, who people are so high on, which I can't fathom why, exactly, but that's a heel. So she's not going to be the big draw, considering the next heel is Awesome Kong. And why is Kong more over than Angelina Love and will always be more over? Because she's a monster, and because her one job in the entire company is to destroy bitches, and people enjoy that because it's something different. It's something so abstract from the norm. You know, we don't get that sort of thing too often nowadays in the WWE. I mean, we had it for a bit with Beth Phoenix upon her heel turn, or rather her return to the ring, to the WWE as a heel. You know, but that eventually died out. Kong is still Kong, and we've seen that just this past Thursday. You know, she came out and destroyed ODB and then killed Roxy. And that's another person that if Power really wants to proclaim that Gail Kim is easily disposable in the eyes of TNA, that here you have someone that was truly over come the conclusion of Sacrifice, and TNA dropped the ball on, and now doesn't look nearly as credible a replacement to Gail Kim's departure from the company, considering they've dropped the ball on her. Roxy has... I don't know where to begin with this. Seriously, it's... PS Power, simply put, like seriously, it's a matter of who was the main face, who is drawing for the knockout division. Look at it. Look at how this whole thing built up. It was between Kong and Kim. Interest grew around these two. You take away one of them, you're only left with one interesting aspect. Okay, certainly, yeah, maybe things are helped out better now because they added in an extra player who was just as over, if not slightly more over, than the originator, or the one of the originals, really. And the whole fucking... I don't even know how to word this properly, but the hierarchy just starts... You start seeing a decline now, because instead of having the three options, instead of having those three solid options, you're now left with two solid options and a bunch of, well, theirs. You know, gals who are just filling in the roles and filling in the roster spots to kind of flesh out a division that many have praised as being so good, when it's really just been three people having really good matches with one another throughout this entire time. I mean, are people really looking back and praising anything that Angelina Love has done? What, the Queen of the Cage match was really riveting stuff. What, the matches she had with Gail Kim are overlooked because maybe Gail Kim was sandbagging it, or just Angelina Love just can't work with her because Gail Kim is such an inferior talent. She's worked with Roxy since what, February, and had been working with Roxy exclusively up until what, Sacrifice? What else has she done that really brings her out as being the next star of the Knockouts division? What could possibly get her to be as big a star and star attraction for this division? Really, just what? I'd love to fucking know, because it eats me up inside that people love the shit out of her, and she's... things I could say about this woman, I'm not even going to get into it, really. You know, then people are going to accuse me of being a homosexual because I don't think she's all that hot. But, excuse me, different taste for different people, right? Different strokes for different folks. That whole motto. She's not my cup of tea. She looks plastic. If I wanted to fuck Barbie, I'd grab a Barbie doll and fuck it. Though it's really just fucking tiny. Bad analogy, whatever. But... the correlation is correct. It's not faulty. You had three big options. Let's put it like this. If it were Austin and Rock, and one of the two just upped and left, leaving you with weaker fill-ins for the missing big stars role in Triple H, Mick Foley, even Undertaker. At that time frame, wouldn't the fans kind of just start teetering out because the appeal is no longer there, because the big star attractions is now halved, that there's now just that one big option and then lesser options to choose from now? It's like a no-brainer, really. I mean, if one leaves, you're now left with subpar options remaining. Do you really want to settle? I know this country, I know this whole society with its this big infatuation with marriage and the whole matrimony of that. That infatuation about settling. That's basically what it is, because considering the divorce rate in this country, you're not ending up with the person you want to be. You're ending up with the person that you just happen to settle for. And that's what this is. Settling for lesser workers because one of them was mistreated or just felt that they weren't being given the appropriate amount of respect as far as contract negotiations went. I can understand it, and you know what? I might as well get into this right now. PS Power's whole fucking slam on Gail Kim. Did anyone actually listen to the fucking moron? And yeah, I'm going to call him a moron because at this point, he's got no spine. Any intellectual comments he posts, he hides behind Bill and Doug's safety net, or does it on his own channel where no prying eyes such as my own can see them unless they're really stalking out for what dumb things he can and will say. The things he said about Gail Kim in his video, slamming her as being, as if she were unimportant to the Knockouts division based upon her WWE credentials. I'm sorry. Just because he found her boring in the WWE, he found her boring via translation in TNA. This community is fucking retarded. You're all fucking retarded. I'm sorry that you all have this mental disability that prevents you from listening to the words coming out of other people's mouths. Oh my God. Oh dear Jesus, help me. Please. This is the only time you're going to catch me on camera praying to whatever the fuck is up there to help me, because you people drive me insane. That's the true definition of insanity. Dealing with you lot out there. Oh. Seriously, go back, watch the fucking video, listen. Don't just hear the words. Don't just hear the fucking sounds. Don't listen to PS Power's because if you listen, you might just catch on to the fact that he's so full of shit. You might catch on to the fact that he's really not as smart as he likes to pretend he is. Something I have been saying for such a long fucking time. Fuck. How long am I into this? Oh, great. 30 minutes. Unscripted. Everyone wants an unscripted video. Go unscripted, they say. You fucking masochists. You fucking sadists. Alright. Back to the train of thought. Okay. Here it is, point blank. PS Power made the stretch, the ultimate stretch, in trying to discredit Gail Kim. Yes, it was his bold move to try and discredit whatever fucking accomplishments, whatever contributions she made to TNA and its knockout division. Not just the knockout division alone, but the entire company itself. Just by looking at what she did in the WWE. By looking at what she did in her past with another company when she was younger into her career. And yet nobody called him out on it. Nobody. Except me. Except me. Why? I mean, did anyone else listen to that video before you started hitting the fucking 5 stars on that motherfucker? Please, by all means, if you see this, give this video 1 star. Give it 1 star. I'd love to see if you people actually paid attention to what I actually said, rather than look at me and see a crazy fucking spick just going wild and crazy in front of the camera, going loose. And just for preference, this isn't me angry. This is me just venting out for the sake of venting out. Because if I were angry, if I were really angry, there'd be a lot more vulgarity. There'd be a lot more obscenities. There would be blood vessels on my fucking skin right now, boiling over the muscles, popping, ready to just explode into a fiery gush of blood, spewing, always spewing, just a fucking fountain coming out of me right now. I'd literally just bleed myself out from the sheer anger that it pent up inside me. But that's... Oh, I'm going off topic again. Oh, hold on. Gail Kim, stick to the topic. What else did he say here? Because I know I see another fucking comment here that he tries to slip on Josh's fucking video, and this is mostly stuff that he has said behind closed doors on Bill and Doug's videos and on his own videos. Let's see. Bottom line, before TNA offers Kim $200,000 or whatever it is TNA needs to consider, does the cost of keeping her outweigh the cost of replacing her? Anyone else remember the story of Andrew Test Martin and his neck injury? I believe it was, 2005 perhaps? That he was out with neck injury, and the WWE had taken the most unprofessional shortcut imaginable when it comes to releasing a superstar. While on the medical bed, ready to go into surgery, he was told that he was not worth what he cost and that they could replace him with 6 other guys. Where are those 6 other guys now? Of all the guys that they ended up replacing Andrew Test Martin with, not a single one of them is still under WWE developmental contract. At the very least, not even under WWE developmental contract, as far as I can recall off the top of my head. So, basically, Power right here is stating that it would probably be in TNA's best interest to forego the known entity, the known power, the known appeal of Gail Kim for the sake of investing in unknowns, in gambling, in those that may not translate as well as Kim did. And why did Kim work out so much better? Because they had time to build up her character. They had time to build up her face and presence on the TNA product. Remember when the Knockouts division was just a ripoff of the Divas division, in that all they did was pose for pictures and do special calendar shoots and all of that beautiful stuff that they are so anti now? Surely you people remember. I mean, this wasn't that long ago. Tell me you remember. Please, for the love of fucking God, tell me you remember. They've got the DVDs out there. Someone has to have seen this shit and remembered that the Knockouts division, before it was what it is today, a division devoted to wrestling, apparently, it was just models. Or women within the wrestling industry acting as models. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think we all understand that if we're going to classify right now as King Burke did, that the women in wrestling are not... What was it that he said exactly? Women wrestlers are only good for one thing, and that's looking hot. Oh, I hate you morons. I fucking hate you morons. Honest to fucking God. Why? Why? Let me try and stick to this topic. Okay. I already lost my train of thought as to where I was. PS Power is now advising TNA to take a gamble on others after TNA has spent so much time, effort, and energy in building up Gail Kim as one of their own. You know, they had just erased the stigma of her being a quote-unquote WWE reject after so many years of servitude under their brand name. And now she's easily disposable now because she's entertained the thought of walking out of the company that treated her so good but refuses to pay her to match how well they actually treat her. That she's so easily replaceable. Let's just move on. I think I already touched up enough on that topic. The loss of Gail Kim is not considerable. It's not considerable. There is no evidence to support that she, in particular, was the highest demand in the knockout division, nor is there evidence to believe people watched the women's matches, especially for Gail Kim. I do not see Gail Kim merchandise soaring, nor do I see any sort of exceptional mainstream support for her. So PS Power is basically ignoring any cover Gail Kim was on, which happens to be a lot of covers, especially for their DVDs, like Victory Road 06 perhaps? Or maybe it was 07. I always seem to get those two confused. Maybe it was 07. But that's not the point. The fact that she's also featured on the cover of the first TNA Knockouts DVD. Or was it the second as well? I can't remember. No, it was the first. It was the first. I think Christy had the second. God, my memory sucks. Really does suck. But all of the good that she's, again, got to point to the very beginning of this new direction for the Knockouts division. Who did they hype up the most? Gail Kim. Who was the first Knockouts Women's Champion? Gail Kim. It's a no-brainer. There's plenty of evidence to showcase that the fans liked her, or liked her enough that they actually bought into the division because of her, as well as Kong, because Kong was different. So this is where I end up going off tangent because I have the urge to suddenly scream about you people and the myth about buy rates being just solely upon the name value of the champion going into the show. And if it doesn't suit you when it's the name champion, it's the challenger who gets in all the buy rate numbers apparently. Starcade 97 Sting argument. The demons will not go away. Oh, God, I had to explain everything, apparently. Okay. What more evidence does PS Power want to prove that Gail Kim actually made a contribution big enough to the Knockouts division and to TNA's company as a whole before he can suddenly stop this fucking campaign of discrediting her and dismantling whatever fucking pedestal she's upon? She's on it for a reason. I may not like her as a in-ring wrestler. I may not find her to be all that appealing, considering the Knockouts division in my eyes has always been overrated, considering it's just coming off the backs of 3 individuals, and those 3 individuals being booked primarily throughout the first, what, 5 months of the Knockouts division's inception, as the only attraction, the only people in the fucking division getting matches of note. Man, really. PS Power, you're a cunt. And on that, I'm gonna end this video before it goes any longer. Toodles.